Hey guys, welcome to Flashbacks, a Flash Rewatch podcast. I'm Alex, and I'm here once again with.
Brady, who is on my phone this time because I had a little problem setting up my computer, should be fixed next week or week after the day we're recording this.
But it's all good. Will records from his car, so like you're good on your end. Like we're chill. Like there's no like set whatever.
If I had one of those, I so would. Yeah.
But yeah, so it took me a while. This episode didn't have a very memorable name, and I'll level with all of you guys right now. I thought that this was going to be the Enter Zoom episode because I forgot about this episode at first. Not speaking about its quality or anything, but just the title itself of the episode is somewhat forgettable. The Darkness and the Light. I had to kind of like be like, is that the name? Like I had to go back a few times and like make sure I got the title right. Did you also have that
See,
too? What?
I didn't even remember that was the title till you said it just now.
Yeah. Well, luckily, again, I don't know if you could see it through the reflection, but my notes remembered more than I would. Like if I didn't have these right next to me, it'd be like, if it's something to do with
Yeah.
light, Dr. Light. I don't know. Anyway.
See, and this is another case where I forgot this episode was this early into season two. I thought this was way later down the road. I thought we were gonna fight King Shark next, like fully take on King Shark. But apparently not. Apparently we're doing Dr. Light.
They don't have the budget for a full episode yet with King Shark. They just showed that in the
They
last
had
one.
didn't they do a full episode with Grodd though?
I mean, yeah, but like also you got to look at this episode. Like literally this episode opens with like the Earth 2 stuff, which I mean some of it I feel like we've seen before. So like to kind of go into the summary a bit,
Yeah, I think it was a couple reused shots in there.
yeah, like it's like not stock footage, but we previously kind of saw a little bit of this. But the episode does kind of open a few months ago. We get the another look at that Art Deco looking city, which is what I'm going to kind of call it now, the central city over there, because I know before we're saying it was kind of like Fleischer-esque kind of, or at least I said that. You said more Superman
Yeah,
Returns.
I said more, yeah, like Superman Returns, Superman the
Yeah.
Animated Series, that kind of thing.
I could tell with like the kind of the lighting choices, but we kind of pick up with Earth 2 Wells doing a demonstration with this meta finding app at his like at Star Labs, and he's got like this watch that will like pick him up. It's supposed to protect, like this also does introduce Jesse as well, his daughter, which she'll become important later. But it does introduce like the whole like them and the world and everything, and the fact that, like the dark matter and everything, and the whole thing with the meta app is it's supposed to be protecting against like meta villains, but like
Yeah,
when you kind of look at it, it's kind of problematic if you think about it too much. Like this whole idea of like a thing that can basically identify metas wherever they are. It's like, I don't really. You think about this too much, it's a
yeah, it.
little problematic.
I didn't think that far into it when I was watching it, but now that you bring it up, yeah, that woof.
Yeah, that's a whole can of worms. But yeah, someone who's also not really a big fan of Wells shows up here, Jay, where he's talking like he basically he shows up and just calls him out in front of everybody. It's like, yeah, it's your fault we have this meta problem, all the dark matter you released
I
under
mean, he's
Star
not wrong
Labs.
though. He's not wrong.
Yeah, I'm just like he's just like blowing up his spot, and he's like, I don't know what you're talking about, and then like he just speeds like he's like, well, maybe we could help each other, kind of thing, and then like he's kind of like, I don't know what you're talking about, man, and then he just
Yeah,
speeds away. That was like it was very like kind of setting up the rivalry earlier, which was going to be like a big thing in
they
this
did a great job
episode.
setting up the rivalry between Jay and Wells in
Yeah,
I don't know why I said that with quotes like he's not Wells, but he's
yeah,
not our Wells, but they did a great job with setting up the not necessarily the reason. Well, yeah, I guess the reason that they hate each other is because Jay doesn't do his job according to Wells, and Wells is just a dick who makes shit that destroys society in Jay's
yeah.
eyes. So they did a really great job with that, and Yeah, it also confused me a little bit, all this stuff, but we will get into that way later. I caught it before it fell this time.
I wasn't even gonna bring it up, but so yeah, we get through the main title, and then it cuts like later on after those few months ago, and it's Team Flash, like after like the stuff we saw previously, where the Hooded Wells had like saved him from King Shark, and we get like the whole backstory. We get one of these scenes. I don't know if you know about this, Brady, but that whole classic, as we all know, thing where they go into this backstory thing about like how you're the Wells, but you're not this Wells, and like all this extra stuff for the audience's benefit, and then like the Wells, Earth 2 Wells, just like, yeah, I didn't follow any of that anyway. Like,
Yeah, that was really funny. They took the stupid exposition bullshit for people who forgot or like just like maybe it was for like TV purposes and doesn't age well with streaming, where it's like,
Mhm.
okay, we're gonna put this in here just in case it's someone's first time catching this, or if it's been a while since they've seen The Flash and like they quit watching after season one and they're
Well, you
like,
gotta
why the fuck
think
is Wells here?
there's like weeks between. Well, like sometimes there's like, a week between an episode, and you've like lived life since then, so you're not
Yeah.
necessarily gonna remember every beat. So like it definitely helps, but it was one of those where I'm like, yeah, I'm not writing all this down. Like this is just stuff that
No.
we already know. But
Yeah, and if you're on this podcast, you've obviously seen this show before, so I mean, you kind of know that he's not our regular Harrison Wells.
yeah, or unless you're doing one of those things. I do this sometimes where I don't know if you do this too, where I'll check out a podcast just because I like whoever the people are who are covering stuff without actually watching what they're covering. Like I'll just listen to their coverage of it, and that's kind of like me experiencing whatever they're talking about.
Yeah, I've done that with your other show, Superhero Stuff You Should Know. Y'all should go listen. Um, I've done that with a couple episodes, like couple previous episodes. I'm like, okay, well, I like when Ben talks about Batman shit. I don't know what the hell this is, but I will listen to it.
Yeah, just add it to the list. But yeah, Wells like is kind of like this could be a reoccurring thing in this, but he tells them like he's his own man, like he's not that Wells. And then one of my notes, it's funny that you say that whole thing about him being a dick. My next note is Wells is a bit of a dick. And like he said, like obviously I said saved him last time, and like we find out that Wells's big enemy is also Zoom in this, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's like the whole of Earth 2 just hate Zoom, which reasonably so. I mean, the guy's a freaking villain, but like all of Earth 2, and I'll kind of get into this later. We know there are other heroes on Earth 2. Why, and which means there are probably other villains. Why Zoom? Is he like the most powerful out of all of them? And that's
I
why
think
everybody hates him?
I think they say he's the fastest, maybe. That's like something I know they definitely
Oh,
say.
okay. Yeah. And I mean, he is scary and he is imposing, and I could see him making people's lives hell, but especially with a reference Jay makes later in the episode, which I'm excited to talk about. I'm like, okay, so you probably have this guy's villains. They're not like more of a pain in the ass than Zoom. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not that big of a deal, but I'm just like, okay. I mean, it's cool that out of all of them, they're the most scared of Zoom.
Definitely. Like also this is kind of interesting. Wells, or I'm just gonna call him Wells 2 until at some point in my notes I change it. So like Wells 2 acknowledges like how he played a role in the metas with all that stuff. And like how he ignored that fact, which kind of, explains earlier. He establishes, kind of like I said earlier, Zoom's goal. He wants to be the only speedster. He's kind of obsessed with speed. And then they're still hesitant to trust him, and my note says to his face. Because basically, like, that's what it is. It's just because of how he
Yeah.
looks.
And also that thing about him being obsessed with speed, I don't know if you thought of this, but when they said that line, I thought of my first, technically my first, because we recorded it first, but my first ever episode you and I did for Flashbacks, the David Goyer script,
hmm
where Zoom had a thing with speed there too, where they treated it as like an addiction, and if he had too much of it, it
Hmm.
would kill him. That is what that reminded me of.
Yeah, that's fair.
And he has a black
Um,
suit in this too, like the Goyer script.
yeah, it's blackish bluish. Yeah. It's or the lightning makes it appear to be blue, I guess.
Yeah, the lightning coming off it makes it more bluish, but I'm pretty sure it's just black because of
And
an element that happens later.
I need to get a figure of this at some point. It's a
I want to get a
cool
suit
suit.
of this. I want to get like a full cosplay suit of it and just walk around going, "You can't lock up the darkness."
You could also probably do Jay as well because you guys got kind of similar hair too. So
We do actually. I might do that now. I need to
yeah,
get the tin helmet,
there you go.
look like
But
Teddy Sears.
well, yeah, I just meant like the Teddy Sears, like you could go like
Yeah.
maskless Zoom basically.
Oh
But
yeah, that could work.
yeah, but so anyway, speaking of people judging Wells for how he looks, Joe shows up and tries to shoot Wells, confusing him for Reverse Flash, which was great. I'm like, dude, we talked about this moment earlier, I remember in our coverage.
Yep. Mr. Joe shoot first, ask questions, never West. Like that motherfucker just does not care. He will light someone up if they say or do, or in this case, look like the wrong thing.
Definitely. And like also like to be fair, and this kind of goes into one of my later notes. Like he goes out in the hallway and Barry's just like, you just got to give him a chance, basically. And then he's telling him that he came there because he was following up on a lead with Mercury Labs. And he Barry some crap talking about like, oh, like blah blah blah, like basically saying like, why are you going so easy on him? He's like, I trying not to kill him too. Basically, it's like
Yeah,
this is hard enough for me. But yeah, so he reveals that thing he had kept from him, and then he said, "I thought we were done with Wells," which is hilarious in hindsight, is what my note says.
yeah, because from what I know, there's a new Wells every single fucking season, dude.
Yeah. Also, if you hear my cat is very chatty today. So if you
Um,
randomly hear that, that's what that is. I'm sure the mics aren't even gonna pick it up, but just in case.
Probably not.
Yeah. So Joe meets Iris at Picture News. We see Linda Park before that, mixing it up with the editor. She admires who's a bit out of touch. Joe, he'll become important later. Joe tells her about Wells and gives her a gun just in case Wells ends up being bad. So cut to jitters as Barry tries to talk to Cisco into giving Wells a chance. Wells too, my bad. He mentions time travel, and oh my God, my favorite character is here.
Yeah, I had a different note about this scene because the I distinctly, for some reason, only remember what's coming up in this episode,
Hmm.
and I thought these were like four different episodes, dude. Like I thought what Cisco's about to do was a whole different episode. I thought Linda was a whole different episode, and it's just like I have in my note like, what the hell? There's no way this is where this happens because I just forgot it happened right here.
I appreciate your vagueness. So, like, we'll definitely get to that in a minute if I think you're talking about the same thing I'm thinking of.
Yes,
But
I am.
she thinks they're talking about a time traveling meta because, like, he mentions time travel at some point and says it would be cool. Cisco isn't so sure about a time traveling meta being cool, which I found
And
funny.
this is just more examples throughout the series of Barry being bad at keeping his identity a secret. To be fair, he
Yeah.
didn't know Patty was right behind him, but he still probably could have talked a little bit quieter just in case. I just love the idea that we came up with on a previous episode where it's like two people in jitters going like, I think that guy's the Flash.
It's those same guys. They're just like, oh crap, like what do we do?
We
But
need to make that a sketch. We have to.
we can get like a green screen or something and just
I
crudely
have
put
one.
this in the background. There you go.
It's in this bag. I
Nice.
bought it for my new gaming setup for when I get my PC fixed.
Cool. So Barry introduced her to Cisco. She mentions King Shark being real, and Cisco admires the name. She also mentions Flash got wrecked by him, and Barry says, Flash had it handled. I always like that trope of like the actual person being there. It's like, wait, hold on. I think that
Yeah,
this guy actually knows what. It reminds me of the Amazing Spider-Man, where
yeah,
where Andrew Garfield starts getting in Gwen Stacy's dad's face about Spider-Man and everything. It's just like, bro, you're blowing up your own spot right here.
Yeah,
Chill.
it's during the dinner scene, right, where they're having the
Yeah.
Franzino, and he's like, "Well, how do you know that guy's not a hero? He's probably just trying to stop that car thief or something." And it's like, oh my God. It also, not to like promote myself because I was doing a stream of this game earlier, but in Batman the Telltale series, there's a moment like that, and you have the choice to do that trope or something similar to it. It's, I think it's when you go see Carmine Falcone in the or it's either Carmine Falcone or Harvey, one of those two. You're like, no, it has to be Carmine because you're with Harvey and Gordon. Anyway,
Hmm.
you're walking down the hallway and one of them says something about Batman, and one of the options is for Bruce to say, "Oh, Batman, he's just a freak in a cape. He's not gonna do anything for Gotham," or something like that. And I say not to promote myself because I was streaming that game earlier, and I'm probably gonna do it again after we wrap this up.
That's a solid game. You guys go check out his stuff. He won't promote his stuff, but I will. But
Because
anyway,
I feel guilty promote, even though like it's
it's
technically my
our
show too, I
yeah,
still
yeah,
feel
your
guilty promoting my
co-host. It's
own shit.
okay.
Just subscribe to
Um,
Zerd Games on YouTube. I will
all right,
say
but
that again at the end.
we're not gonna have ad breaks though.
Nah,
Like,
nah, nah.
I gotta mess with you a little bit on that. But
I know.
anyway, she mentions the hooded man saving Flash, and Cisco is shocked she's not traumatized. She says a giant man shark versus the fastest man alive. It's like, I love this city. I really really like that moment.
That's
Like
a great line, yeah.
she's such a great character. So like again, she's trying to set up dates, and Barry again like turns her down, talking about, oh, we could write the police report together. Turns her down, and Cisco finally being the voice for the audience is just like, hey, like he brings up like, I don't want to call him Dr. Wells. And so now we're gonna call him Harry because that's what he said to call him. So in my
Yeah.
notes, I changed it over to Harry. So anyway. He says he can't let the Harrys of his life get in the way. He also, like he's just saying he has to go for it, basically. And speaking of going for it, Cisco eyes a barista and tries to like ask her out and gets shot down. And then in my notes I said because of his non-existent game, but
I mean,
it's so
well,
awkward.
well, he's got to have something though, because like just literally last episode, he was locking lips with fucking Snart's sister, so he's got to have something there.
It's so funny. He wasn't even trying. Maybe that's part of it too. Is like he was just trying too hard.
Yeah, maybe if he tries, he fucks up, and if he doesn't try, then he succeeds.
Yeah. But anyway, he vibes and he sees bank robbery in progress at the Central City Bank and tells Flash to like go. Flash confronts the meta, but she uses light flashes and knocks some civilians around. Who's Flash kind of saves. Like there's like this moment where you see him like speed and like run like these couches basically for them to land on. It's just like a little cool set piece that didn't really cause like a lot of attention to itself. I thought was cool. She vanishes in the
Yeah.
commotion.
Yeah, there's a similar thing to that in Justice League Mortal, where he like creates tornadoes with his arms to save a fireman who's falling out of the sky for some reason.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So, cut back to Star Labs as Harry tells them she's Dr. Light, who derives her power from Starlight. Her helmet and overall look is comic accurate but modernized too. It's an okay look. Like, what'd you think of this costume? It's kind of just like this kind of plasticky looking helmet and then like this leather jacket kind of combo.
Yeah, I thought they could have done more with like the torso area, like made that like more armored or look a little bit cooler instead of like just a leather jacket. But I still think it looks cool as it is. Like it's still a good costume. Probably better than the Titans version, but I
Oh
don't
yeah,
know. I'm kind of biased because I like Titans. So,
what's the Titans version a lot better? I don't actually remember that.
he's just kind of a grunt that's, if I remember correctly, is just there to get killed by Deathstroke. Like he's in one or two episodes, gets in a fight with Jason Todd, if I remember right, and then I think Deathstroke just fucking kills him.
Oh wow.
Or
It's
Jason kills him. I can't
it's been
remember.
so long. It's been so long since I've seen that. But
Yeah, I was watching it with my sister for a while, but we stopped and just haven't gone back to it. I don't remember a lot of it.
yeah. And then I remember you referencing this kind of earlier, and I don't think I got this reference at a time, but this reference from Cisco talking about, our Dr. Wells might have been evil, but you're just a
You're
dick.
just a dick. Yeah, I said that in
Yeah.
a previous episode like a while ago, and I said it in that exact way. I'm like, oh wait, that's a reference. I'll come back to that.
So Harry might be a kind of a dick, but like also like he has like solid plans. So he wants to capture Dr. Light and lure Zoom there. Jay walks in and calls him insane for that plan. Just it kind of just appears out of nowhere. Caitlin is
He like
Captain Obvious.
Batman's.
Yeah, he just walks in. It's like, hey, buddy.
He's like,
Uh,
"What's up, motherfucker? What the hell are you doing?
yeah,
What
and
the hell
then
is going on here?"
what the hell is going on here? But Caitlin's Kate, and then she's just like they know each other, and like he isn't a fan. It's like that. Thank you, Caitlin. Thank you for that insightful commentary. I feel like that's not needed, but
Yeah.
kind of we can see that.
Yeah. Also, one thing I want to mention that I forgot to bring up at the beginning, my
Hmm.
notes, and I sent you these. My notes at the beginning say some about a Meet the Robinsons reference. I don't know if
Okay,
you caught that. Um,
what was
basically,
it?
so for those that may not, like, if you're pulling an Alex and you haven't seen Flash and you're listening to this, basically, or you're just not autistic, the there's a song at the very end credits of Meet the Robinsons that says the future has arrived today. And every time I hear those words, I think of that song and that movie because I love Meet the Robinsons. So I just put Meet the Robinsons reference in my notes because of that moment.
Oh, I've never actually seen that.
You
I know,
haven't seen Meet the Robinsons?
bro, you haven't seen so many movies.
Hey,
Let's not pull this
okay,
thread.
fair point. But still, Meet the Robinsons, bro, it's Disney. It's one of the classics. How have you not seen this?
I guess I just missed out on it.
I guess you could argue the same with me not having seen Smallville all the way through.
Yeah. Harry mentions, and this was interesting to me. He kind of mentions that they thought that Jay was dead on Earth too, like because after his disappearance, I'm like, what? It kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it was interesting, but that lends itself to a theory that I can't actually talk about right now, so I am gonna write that down because I will forget about it. It's
I
because
hear
it
you.
involves something that hasn't actually come up in the series yet, and just in case, people are like watching the episodes and then listening to our podcast after they watch that specific episode, if you
Hmm.
know what I mean. I don't want
Okay,
to spoil anything for them. So I'm going to write this thought down before I forget.
gotcha. So they fight over what to do with Doc Light, but Barry says they'll figure that out later. They need to find her first. Barry asks how Cisco knew she was there, and he lies, saying it was an alert on his phone. I remember Barry just going like, "What?" Like
Yeah, he
it's
like
just like
looks at him. He's like, "What the fuck?"
Like what? Like it's not even. It's like okay, whatever. So they're gonna use the satellite to find Dr. Light. Barry says keep Jay and Harry apart until then. Cut to CCPD, and I have this in all caps. Barry finally asks Patty out. She confirms, you're not just gonna waste my time with an excuse, basically. When it gets close, because she's like saying, it's like, I'll get really excited about this, but please don't like come up with like I have to do like science things and like, whatever.
Yeah, my
So
notes had the same thing. I just said finally.
yeah, I know. I was so happy. So they have an early dinner tomorrow. He doesn't want to wait anymore. Best moment. They're so cute, is what I said so far in there.
Yeah.
Cut to Star Labs, and apparently they don't have boundaries on Earth 2 because Harry is using Cisco's area for research on who Wells was. And he says they don't have to like each other because he doesn't like Cisco, but they have to work together to stop Doc Light and Zoom and ask if he can do that. Cisco says, we'll see. Which I kind of like that. I don't know if you ever, I'm sure you do. Like, this is very relatable, that whole thing of like, you might not like someone, but you have to work with them towards like a, mutual goal.
Yeah, that is happening at my current job, bro. Like, it's not with like everybody, but one very specific person who definitely does not listen to anything internet related. But yeah, it sucks because you want to like that person, but they're just a dick, so you can't bring yourself to actually like them, but you have to like work with them because like, oh, they're your boss, they're your coworker, they're higher up than you, whatever. You still have to work with that person to attain the mutual goal of succeeding for that day, that week, that month, whatever. So yeah, that was a very relatable plot thread, especially for me in my current job.
Yeah, it can be frustrating. But so Barry runs to confront Dr. Light. Jay says she's not a killer and Barry can talk to her. He does talk to her and try to reason with her, and as soon as she reveals her face, like he obviously recognizes her as Linda Park, and then that kind of makes her skittish and she runs. She also mentions that no one can protect her from Zoom. And so I made a note about this. I don't know, like the plot is kind of followable, but like at first her thing seems to be, and I found this out from the special features because it's not 100% clear in the show, but the producer was saying that like she's trying to get this money so she can just like go off and vacation on some island and disappear basically. And
Hmm.
that's not really clear necessarily in the episode.
No,
And
she just comes
yeah.
across as like a random criminal just robbing a bank because reasons?
Yeah, and then later on, like her, I thought she was just killing like Linda, not to like, and we're obviously skipping ahead a bit, and I'll briefly breeze over this later, but like she wants to kill like her doppelganger so she can assume her identity, which was not really clear in the episode either. I thought she was just doing that like all the other Earth 2 people did, so like I
Yeah.
don't know.
I don't know, probably just time constraints. They had maybe they filmed that and they just had to like edit it out or something, or they like just decided not to film that and it was in the script, but they never filmed it. You never know with these types of things unless they released it in the deleted scenes in the DVD.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into deleted scenes towards the
Oh,
tail end.
there are deleted scenes for this?
Yeah, we'll definitely get
Oh
into
shit.
there towards the end. So Barry's blinded by the light that she flashes, and then we cut back to Star Labs. His sight will return in 6 hours. Harry and Jay keep jabbing at each other. Barry wants to protect Linda from Light, basically Light trying to kill Linda, but he can't do anything because he's blind, like he bumps into something. Iris arrives, finds out like basically that Patty and Barry are going on a date, and I really like this moment. She's like really
Yeah.
excited for him, which I thought was really cool. Um,
Yeah, it's more of like a sibling-esque moment than two people who like you can tell that maybe Iris has a little bit of like darn, like wish it was me type of thing, but I
I
feel like
think she's
she's
got so much
more
going
of
on
just
with her mom.
encouraging him to, yeah, yeah, she doesn't, I don't really think she cares much about all that, but I mean, it'd be interesting if she did and there was like a lingering moment on her face where she just kind of gets a little sad. But
Yeah.
I like that she was being like an encouraging sort of big sister for for Barry.
And also, like, I've noticed that, and maybe it'll change later on, but like a revelation I did have recently was that with this season versus the last season, there's a lot less of that, like, drama. Like last season, Barry was like trying to move in on someone who was clearly in a relationship. There's a lot less of this season, which I do kind of appreciate, but like I did notice it was missing this
Yeah.
season, definitely, at least
Yeah,
so
and
far.
but that was very apparent for me too, is like that is clearly the point, right? Because
Hmm.
now Eddie's no longer around. It's supposed to be that way.
He's blind right now, and he'll have to cancel the date unless he can come up with a solution. Because Iris is kind of just like, oh, like we can come up with a solution, and they both kind of look over at Cisco. I like that she was trying to help him salvage the date. Iris comes off really great in this episode.
Yeah, for
Like
once.
like am I reconsidering? Like I don't know. We'll see these next few episodes. Am I reconsidering my feelings on Iris as a character? Is she
I
like
don't
likable
know.
this season?
I don't actually, I'm in the minority where I actually don't think Iris is that bad in the first couple of seasons. Maybe the first one and a half, like half of season two, she's not all that bad. There is a very noticeable turning point, and I think it's after the first episode of season three when Barry does the whole, I almost said the name of the event. I'm going to keep it light on spoilers,
Well, we'll
but
have to wait. We'll have to wait and see that later
yeah,
and kind of judge it
that
as we get there.
very popular Flash comic story, after that happens in the series, I feel like there was a bit of a shift, and Iris just got worse and worse as season three went on, and it kind of
Yeah,
pissed me off.
yeah, we'll definitely get to that later. So we cut to that aforementioned date. Barry looks nice and is all dressed up to meet Patty on the balcony of a fancy restaurant. He's also wearing sunglasses. He bumps into one of the staff, which I found funny.
Did you see
And
my note about the glasses, by the way?
oh, what'd you say?
I said he's got that motherfucker Barry look on where he's like that
Yeah,
one
I
picture with
thought
the
of that for a
glasses.
second. Yeah, like I was looking at him, I was like, he's got that what did the kids say, aura or something?
He's got aura. Yes,
Yeah.
he's got the Lex aura from fucking Superman.
That's great. So Cisco is watching the date through a monitor back at the lab. It's like they have cute and awkward date talk, like and like I like this whole thing. Cisco basically like guiding him and like help being his eyes, like very sitcom-y kind of setup here. I really liked it.
Yeah,
It was a lot of fun.
that is what it feels like. It feels like a Raising Hope or Good Luck Charlie or one of those type of shows, sort of episodes.
Definitely. Cisco tells Barry to compliment her, and he tries to get specific on the collar, on how the color looks on her. And he's just like, I can't see that. It's in black and white. Like he's like, I wouldn't know the color, and he like saves it basically, like saying like he's sure it looks good on her. And he also can't see the menu, so he smoothly like just slides it over to Patty and has her pick. Cisco says he doesn't need him here, and he's got this. Like I like this whole this is a great moment
The
in the episode.
and I like it, I feel like for different reasons than you, because I feel like it's one point in the series where you see how smart Barry Allen is on a
Hmm.
completely different level than just science stuff. Like he
That's a
is
good point.
quick thinking, pun intended, he is quick thinking during this whole segment. And you can tell like, oh, he's like using his like brain to actually think this through. Like he is a smart dude when it comes to science, but he's also street smart to a degree. So he can kind of think on his feet and be smooth like that while he's on a date with Patty while blind and he can't tell her the actual reason why.
Yeah. So that's a good point. But so we cut like outside picture news as Jay and Caitlin are like on a stakeout there for Linda basically just watching out for her. Jay admits to fearing Zoom. He took his speed and says he like basically don't trust Harry. He made money off the metas with that app and now he's obsessed with Zoom. And then she goes that she trusts Jay, not Harry. Cut back to cute Patty date now at night. They talk about their near-death experiences. Barry's with the lightning, her almost drowning as a kid, her heart stopped, and she's like, I guess we both cheated death. Like I like that moment. And then like she's talking about basically like this feeds into later, but like the not feeling fear anymore, which we'll definitely get into
Oh
later with
yeah.
some of Flash's motivation. But and then Patty, speaking of intelligence, Patty clocks that he can't see, and Cisco hilariously like freezes up for a second and telling him it's like abort the
He's like,
mission.
abort.
Yeah. And then he saves it and says he likes her smile. And as he puts the glasses away, we can hear Cisco saying, "Hey, I can't see. Come on." And then like,
Come on, I lost my eyes.
yeah, he's talking about like he got some like LASIK or something, which that was
He got his eyes
definitely
dilated. Yeah.
yeah, it wasn't LASIK. It was just his eyes dilated. You're right. So, like, cut back to Jay and Snow. There's like a lot of cut back to these couples, quote unquote. But Jay mentions having like because it's like, oh, have you ever been to like this tropical island? I think they say Tahiti or something. But
Yeah, she says, "Do you guys have Tahiti on Earth too?" I remember this scene because and I know you're
yeah.
about to talk about it, but I know this scene because of one very specific moment.
Yeah, he's like, oh, we have Atlantis, and mentions it being above water, and he says that one of his best friends is there, which was probably an Aquaman reference, is
That
what I'm
was what I
assuming.
was, yes, that was what I was talking about. I love that I wish they would do it more for the Earth One, like Earth Prime CW stuff. I wish they
Yeah.
would reference more heroes like that in the CW Earth. But for some reason, and we'll see a lot more of this later, trust me, in later Earth 2 episodes, we will see this a lot. But there's, for some reason, only references to other heroes in the Earth 2 episodes. And I'm not just talking about like Green Arrow or the Atom. There are characters we never see on these CW shows. that are referenced or were at one point going to have their own show but was canceled in Earth 2. Like we see their names and hear their names and they're referenced a lot. And I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because they were like, oh, we can do whatever we want with the Earth 2 stuff because we're never going to show any of these people. Or if it was just like a, hey, let's just kind of throw this in there just for shits and giggles.
Yeah, it's probably just a reference, but like you said, because they know they're not going to use them. But that is interesting. But like anyway, they almost kiss, and then Doc Light like blasts their van with Light. So Light wants Linda and makes everyone leave. But Iris and the editor, I like that like they both refuse to leave, and that basically Light's just like I want to kill her, and the editor tries to take her out, but spooks her and makes her blast him accidentally. Iris shoots her mask off. Like I like how proactive they are. Jay also shows up and then she hits the light and disappears. Did you also like how proactive that editor surprised me that moment?
Yeah, that I completely forgot that happened, but yeah, it was really cool to see Iris actually do something for once for to stick up for herself and
Yeah,
a friend in in this episode. That was freaking awesome.
yeah. Patty is holding Barry's arm because he can't see, helping him down the steps. Like very smooth Barry is what my notes say. And then Barry kisses her. He got his sight back after the kiss and compliments the color of her dress. And then they both get calls at the same time. Barry and Cisco from the so like the chief that Larkin is his name is dead, and they both show up on the scene later. Linda's gonna get a
I wonder
security
what
detail.
Barry's excuse was there, because he doesn't answer the phone and go, "Hey Joe." He says, "Cisco," and then she
Well,
apparently.
he works at the police lab, so
Oh,
maybe
true, but then why would Cisco be calling him? I guess Cisco also works with the CCPD because
look,
he's
they just kissed.
there.
Like their hearts are both probably fluttering right now. She's not thinking about
True,
about all
she thinking
that.
about something else, but not not why Barry said Cisco instead of
That's the
Joe.
last thing on her mind right now. But
Fucking hell, I love recording this show, man.
yeah.
Oh my God.
But yeah, so back at Star Labs, Jay apologizes for misjudging Light, and Harry reveals Zoom hunted Jay, and basically our Flash can do what Jay couldn't. He ran away from Zoom, is what Harry's like saying, and that Jay is scared of him. And Harry says Flash runs toward danger, not away from it, because he's not a coward like Jay. And Jay punches him in the face, and they just start like Harry punches him back for the show like a pretty like like maybe just one or two punches. I wasn't expecting them actually to keep fighting after
Yeah,
that.
no, I thought they would. I thought they'd stop after a little bit, but nope, they went at each other. I'm pretty sure Jay only hit him the once, and then Wells just kept wailing on that motherfucker. He didn't let him get a chance to breathe.
Yeah. So definitely. So Harry thinks Flash can handle Zoom. Barry mentions the light mask and he's just like, "What?" They go back and they use it to find Light using Cisco's vibe powers, or they try to anyway. And also big thing, Harry outs him to the whole team at this point, basically being like, "Oh, use your powers." Like, what? And then he's just like, "Yeah, like obviously." Like he's like, "I got it." And then like he shows him, it's like here, like he shows the watch. He's like, "Meta." Like right here,
Yeah.
or hold on, this is actually better. I have this watch. I can kind of do this.
Oh
So he's
yeah.
just like holding up. He's like, "Oh, meta," like up to Barry, and then he goes over to Caitlin. And this was interesting to me. And obviously later on this changes, but like nothing goes off with her, and
Nothing.
then like goes off and it starts lighting up. I thought that was a really effective way to do
Yeah.
that scene.
There's there was also like a thing where Caitlyn's like, oh, I think it's in this scene where she's like, oh, she says something about herself not having powers, and I'm just like, are you sure about that?
Yeah, it
Like that
definitely
John Cena meme.
it definitely gets changed later. But yeah, he also like tells Cisco, he's like, "You never got an alert on your phone, and you never reprogrammed the satellite." And then he apologizes to the team that thought it'd make him evil or something like Wells because of the power. Like he's got this weird, like he just doesn't want to be anything like Wells. And he said they're like that could never happen, and he tries vibing the mask and nothing happens at first. Harry loses patience very quickly and puts it against his chest, and then we with Cisco that she's at South Plaza, like the train station platform 15, and Flash confronts
Platform
her.
9 3/4.
Yeah. So Flash confronts her and says, and she said she only wanted to kill her doppelganger to be free of Zoom. She didn't mean to kill Larkin. And Harry gives Flash a tip to confuse her so she doesn't know what to hit. Because he kind of shows up and he's like, oh crap, I didn't have a plan. And also who another Flash who doesn't have a plan is Jay, because he's like, I got nothing. Basically, he's like, hey, that's not really as we see an episode of this show, like they need a motivational speech, and
Yeah.
he tells them to do. Harry says do a speed mirage to overwhelm her, and this is the first time he does it, and it's so cool and comic booky, is what my note says, and like I
Oh
definitely
yeah.
agree. This is really
Did
cool.
did you also notice that this was probably only a me thing that noticed this, but when he does the speed mirage and all the other flashes show up, they have the season 1 cowl because the eye holes are more like narrow and they're
Oh,
not as
weird.
wide as the season 2 mask. So when the speed mirages show up, they have like the narrower eye holes from the season 1 cowl is what it looked like, and then you see regular Barry come back and they're like the big eye holes from the season 2 mask. I was like, huh, that's interesting.
Weird.
Maybe it was just the effect that, like the blur effect that made it look like the season 1 mask.
Mm-hmm.
But my guess is maybe they just hadn't like finalized a like the CG model for, because
Maybe.
that shot was either all CGI or it was like multiple shots of Grant Gustin in the Flash suit. If it was CGI, it looked really freaking good, but it was also
Yeah.
blurred out. But yeah, I'm wondering if that was just like they took the season 1 model and colored the lightning bolt white, or if it was just the blur effect that made the eye hole look more narrow.
Maybe. Yeah, you're probably right, though. It's probably an earlier asset. But like anyway, before he does that speed mirage thing, he does doubt himself, and that's why I was talking about the motivational speech. So Jay gives him a motivational speech saying be the Flash you never could be. And like we get the after images, like I mentioned earlier, surrounding Dr. Light. He takes her out. She's locked in the pipeline, and Iris thanks Harry for the help. Barry wants to do Harry's plan and lure Zoom there using Dr. Light, which Jay obviously doesn't like. Barry already faced his worst nightmare, Reverse Flash. He won't be afraid anymore. Again, paying off that earlier thing with him and Patty that I mentioned earlier. He won't be fighting Zoom alone. He's got Team Flash and Harry and Jay. He says Jay's like, I can't be a part of this. It might lead to, you losing your speed or death, is what Jay
Yeah.
tells him.
Which kind of dark, Jay. Way to lighten the fucking mood.
I mean, he's being real. Well, to an extent, but anyway, we're watching this as if like it's
Yeah.
So Jay says Harry might not be the one not be the one they knew, but he had just as many secrets. Why when he admit for years the dark matter stuff was his fault. Jay leaves a pleading Caitlin. She's just like asking him to stay. Cut back to Jitters. We see the cute barista from earlier. Cisco says he just wants coffee, and she gives him another shot, saying he just caught her off guard, being a newcomer to the big meta-filled city. And she's more prepared and asks him if he wants more. And he introduced himself, and then she introduced herself as Kendra Saunders, who we will
And DC
definitely.
Comics fans know that is because this is not, I don't consider this a spoiler because this is in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Hawk Girl. That
Yeah.
is Hawk Girl.
Well, not yet, but yeah.
Not yet, but that is one of the personas of Hawk Girl. Like when, because in some comics it's Shaira Hall and Katar Hall. They're from planet Thanagar. Other times it's just they're reincarnated, which I believe is what they went for in the Arrowverse. I believe
This
they
is
went
like a
for the whole,
mixture. Yeah, we'll definitely get
yeah,
into that, but it's like a
yeah, but
mix.
yeah, pretty much it's Hawk Girl. She's
Yeah.
gonna be Hawk Girl in future shows.
Yeah. We cut over to Caitlin talking about Jay's departure, saying it was hard. Basically, she's getting used to him being part of the team. Cisco shows up to their table with a number. He's going out with Kendra next week. He laments having powers, but Barry says he won't go through it alone. And Caitlin says he needs a cool name, and he agrees. Barry suggests 5, and they all love it. Cut to outside as Harry looks kind of ominously inside jitters. Like I kind of read this, I could read this two ways. I kind of read it either as like he wanted to join them, but he's kind of like, that's not really my place, or he's just watching them. I choose to see it like, because later on we find out he's a chill dude. So like it's one of those where he's probably just being like, that's not really my place to go be with them.
Yeah, I think it's that too. The way you worded it at first, I was like, it doesn't sound like this particular Wells, but yeah, no, now that you said more about that, yeah, I can definitely see that being his reasoning. But he could also, and again, I'm going to be vague about this, he's more concerned about, at least I think, finding someone else in his life who
Hmm.
we're gonna get into later. He might be more concerned about finding her, and so how you could also read that is like maybe they can help. Like maybe they can help
Yeah.
find her. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, possibly. But yeah, Flash the we get the Flash end credit. Cut to Earth 2, some abandoned place as Zoom runs in. He tells Jesse, Harry's daughter, who's tied up in a cage, that he abandoned her, and she says he's wrong. Her dad is smart and he'll find her and save her and kill him. He says he won't die. I love Tony Todd's voice. He hasn't just basically he says like, I haven't decided what to do with you and your father, and then runs off. Like this is our first, because before that I think we've obviously seen him in his like little fights with Jay. This is the first time we've actually heard his like amazing voice as Tony Todd.
yeah,
Also Rip
yeah,
Tony
rest
Todd.
in peace. He's
Yeah.
also, and I just remembered this. I think I might have brought this up on a previous episode. He's a voice in Young Justice in like the
Nice.
first couple seasons. He's Icon.
He's also in Smallville in one of the early ones.
Oh
One of the
my God.
season one, like one of the actually memorable early episodes. Actually, the episode is called Jitters too, which is
Oh, nice.
hilarious. Yeah, it's like all like they always call him the Smallville guy has this saying. He says it's all connected. I'm like, I guess that's one of those it's all connected moments.
I
But
mean,
yeah,
it makes sense because if you listen to like the Inside of You podcast with Michael Rosenbaum, they shared pretty much the same like camera crew, lighting crew, all that like on set crew. They
nice.
shared a lot of the same guys. So like it makes sense that they would all sort of connect in some way. I'd have found it hilarious if they got Tom Welling to finally agree to put on the suit for Supergirl. That was never going to happen, but
No,
it would have been so cool.
yeah, no, and I'm kind of I've accepted that ship has sailed. But anyway, after the credits, I wanted to bring this up. Earlier, I mentioned there was a deleted scene. So the deleted scene isn't anything too crazy. It's kind of like a coffee date that's not a date with Caitlin and Jay at Jitters that sets up the scene where he first storms into Star Labs and confronts Harry because he's like, "Oh, you brought me over to talk about more like basically breachers and stuff." She's like, not exactly. She's like saying like it's somebody from that Earth though, and then tells him his name. He's like, "Take me to him now." Basically, is what he
That
says.
that would be cool to see. I'll have to look that up on YouTube, see if it's out there somewhere, or I could just get the damn complete series for myself.
Yeah, and then also to because obviously recently we interviewed the VFX guys, and I think I told you this like off mic in a message, but like they when portraying the light powers that Dr. Light had, so Dr. Light's different in this. Like it's obviously Linda Park, and like it's a different person, obviously the comics. I'm forgetting the guy's name in the comic, but
I don't remember either.
it's
I
okay.
know there is a female one because
But
in the
she's got a
Scribblenauts
different.
Unmasked game you can create two different Dr. Lights and one's female, but yeah, it's not Linda Park.
Yeah, and this one she's like a meta, and I think in the original thing, like they said that it's like a light gun or something. And so the VFX thing I mentioned was like the light obviously shoots out and it's something that's faster than the flash, but like they had to slow it down for like visual sake basically to kind of make it read. And so like they said like we had to cheat that so like it kind of, like the it's for the benefit of the audience that like you see the
Yeah.
light beam and
Did
everything.
did they mention that in our interview, or did one of them tell you that in like a message or something?
Oh, the thing I just mentioned,
Yeah.
that was on the special features for the DVD.
Oh, okay. That would make a lot of sense because I was like, I don't remember them bringing up Dr. Light like at all. Like we
Yeah,
just
no,
pretty much we only talked about King Shark and Grodd.
this was our I think his name is Armin. He's on a lot of those. He's the VFX like main guy on there. But
Okay.
anyway, all that being said, I guess we're at the part where we go into our heart, humor, and spectacle. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
I'll go first. So I think the heart in this is Barry and Patty, or you could also say Caitlin and Jay.
Okay.
That both of those relationship dynamics are great. There's not really a lot of like drama like there was last episode with Iris and her mother, but
Hmm.
like all the relationship stuff in this is very heartfelt, very good. The the humor is just Cisco's like that's how you do it. I got or like peep that when he's showing Barry the number and yeah, Cisco is he's
Catchphrase
just
machine.
always yeah, catchphrase machine. He's just always the funny man in
Yeah.
all the episodes. And the spectacle is the fight in the what was it, the train station with all
Okay.
the speed
Yeah.
mirages of Barry versus Dr. Light. I thought that was one of the coolest parts. And then I'll let you go and then we can give our ratings.
Okay, so heart obviously, I know none of you are surprised. It's obviously going to be the scenes with like Patty and that whole thing of like him being all smooth and everything, and like
Saw that one coming.
their first kiss and all that was really great. And then humor would be like I'm actually trying to think. The him calling him a dick, I thought was pretty good. Like I
But
did
you're
like that.
just a dick.
Yeah, I liked that. That was also I felt like a real moment. And then the spectacle, obviously, the Mirage. Actually, no, I'm gonna go like the Mirage was great, but since you already did that, I'm gonna go for that one scene where it's a small moment, but like he's moving the couches to like catch the people, the civilians that are going up in the air. I like that
Okay.
scene. That was good.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good too. It's just the train station one at the end was just the first one that popped into my brain.
That one's great too. But
It stood
yeah,
out.
I really did like this episode. I would probably give it like a 3 out of 5 lightning bolts. Like it was good. Like not anything like too amazing, but just a solid, good episode. Good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, not a spectacular episode, but yeah, it's about a three. Maybe if I'm feeling like, what's the word? Cynical, 2.5, but I don't
But they're
think
love,
that's a
Brady. They're love.
yeah, that's why I'm like, I don't think that's appropriate. So I'm just gonna agree with you on this one because we're allowed to do that on this show.
No.
I'm just gonna. I know we have to fucking disagree with each
Yeah.
other all the time. God damn it.
Yeah,
Um,
that's how the internet works. We have to not
yeah,
agree and shout at each other
I
during
know,
this.
right?
Yeah.
But I would probably say three again if I'm feeling cynical, maybe 2.5. But I'm gonna stick at hard three for right now.
Gotcha. All right. Well, all that being said, you go ahead and do your plugs. I'll do mine, and we'll get out of here, or we'll journey into the Speed Force, I guess.
Alrighty. So obviously you can find me on this podcast, Flashbacks, a Flash Rewatch podcast. If you want to watch me play some video games and talk over them and now stream video games while I'm talking over them, you can find me at Zerd Games, ZURDD Games on YouTube, Twitch, and I think that's it. That's the only sites that like I do long form and videos on. Currently right now, I don't have a PC. Well, I do, it's just not working, but I'm streaming from my PlayStation Batman the Telltale series. I intend to play the full game. I did a stream earlier today while at the time we're recording this. I did a test just to see if it would work, and I feel like it did. So once we get done with this, I'm gonna, maybe eat some food and then do another stream. But I am probably gonna play the full game. So if you want to see that, head over to Zerd Games on YouTube. Um, I'm not going to have a consistent schedule for streaming that game. It's just going to be kind of whenever I have time. Um, and you can also find me on TISMO Talks, a comic book podcast. I tried to film an episode of my show before my like we dismantled my old computer and built my new one. Didn't get it done at all. I have the notes. I've seen the episode. It's done. Like the notes are done. I just didn't get around to doing the actual episode. But I have a way to do it, and if this mic sounds good, which I think it sounds all right, it's nothing compared to my HyperX right here, but I
Yeah.
might just wind up doing it on my phone for now, just because I haven't done a Tismo Talks episode for you guys in like what 3 months since like April, I think, because it was the Batman Forever commentary was the last one I did. So yeah, it would have had to have been in like April, which is fucking nuts. So that will come back. It's not gonna. I'm gonna try not to make it a Young Justice what mean type of deal. It's going to come back. Um, I'm trying to think. Oh, you can catch me in now. I can actually say this. If you go to the Newverse Creative YouTube channel, you can hear me towards the end of the video as a thug who gets his ass beat by Batman, and I had a lot of fun doing that. I have a couple more Newverse projects I'm doing. Can't say what they are right now, but uh, yeah, it's at the time of recording again. It's the newest video that Newverse Creative put up. I mean, you guys should go listen to their audio dramas anyway, because our
Definitely.
friend Ben wrote a couple of them and does the voice in a couple of them. Um, so yeah, if you want to hear me sound like I'm about to shit my pants getting interrogated by Batman, go listen to that. It's my Newverse Creative debut, however, not the first thing I recorded for them. I'm also going to be in the Arkham tapes as an undisclosed character who I accidentally just almost said the name of just without thinking. That would not have been good. Um, and I'm gonna announce this here. I'll do an official video on the Chaku Milk channel, which is my animation channel. I'll do a official announcement about this later, but for now, this is a flashbacks exclusive. I am working on a Lego Superman brick film. It is going to be similar to the James Gunn movie in the respect that a hawk person is one of the other heroes in the movie, and it is the Kickstarter to a larger universe of Lego animations that I want to build. And my co-host has a brief cameo in the film, along with Ben of Superhero Stuff You Should Know, who is gonna have a larger role in the Lego universe. I'm not gonna say too much on that, but that is a real passion project I've been working on for a long time. The script has been done for like 2 years. I just had the most difficult time finding a Superman voice, but I found one a while ago. And so just when I have time, I've been animating that. I'm probably about 20% done with the film. So I'm really excited for you guys to see that. And I'm actually making progress on it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have announced it. But yeah, be on the lookout on the Chaku Milk channel for when that comes out.
Nice. So anyway, you guys know me. Obviously you can catch us here. Flashbacks, a Flash Rewatch podcast. We cover every episode of the Flash CW show. We also cover other things Flash related. When it calls for it in our off seasons, we cover just different stuff. But like fan films,
And there may
eventually.
be if the plans work out, me and Alex discussed a TISMO Talks and Flashbacks overlap episode
Oh
that
yeah.
are a couple of them that relate to Young Justice and the Flash. So if we can figure the timing out on that one, be on the lookout for that because I'm super excited to get into Young Justice because I'm definitely doing that now. But
Definitely.
yeah, be on the lookout for that.
But yeah, so obviously you guys know about this show, Night of the Batman, which has recently moved over to YouTube as well. You can check out if you already haven't, like that new place. It's kind of cool having it back on YouTube, like Night of the Batman, because that's where it started, like the original show, and so it's kind of cool to have that be on YouTube again. So like obviously with the Batman Revolutions coming out a while back, me and Ben interviewed the author for Batman Resurrection, and also we reviewed and did an Easter egg deep dive way back on Night of the Batman. So go check that out. And
Yes, that's
then,
a really good book as well, by the way. I didn't read it, but I listened to it on Audible.
mhm,
God damn, that John Jackson Miller did a great job with that one. So if you guys
definitely,
haven't read or listened to that yet, go do so.
definitely. Tangential Exchange. We're doing that still. Just when we have time. And superhero stuff you should know. Definitely go check that out. We did Batman Forever recently. That's a lot of fun. Go check that out.
That was a great episode.
Thank you. And then What Mean, which is eventually coming back. We will once I have time. I actually got to find this is like a behind the scenes thing for a second. Now the Batman has some missing episodes I found when I ported over the RSS feed, and luckily I have my old
Hmm.
computer still, and so I can try to recover those old episodes and upload them. So that's gonna be a project I'm working on the side to make sure all
Night
the
of the
episodes are up.
Batman, the Lost Tapes.
Yeah, where it's like a bunch of them. Like there's a specifically one I wanted to listen to, but yeah, there are some missing episodes that I'm definitely going to put back out there. But anyway, all that being said, thank you guys for watching. And I guess we'll just go ahead and get out of here. We have a certain way that we say "see you in the Speed Force." How do you want to say it this time?
You picked this time because I'm pretty sure I did it last time.
Let's say it stickly, I guess. We'll see you in the Speed
Well,
Force.
Okay,
Can you
okay,
do that?
yeah, I can.
One, two,
Two,
three.
three.
We'll
We'll
see you
see
in
you
the
in the
Speed
Speed
Force.
Force. Hey, I think we actually did it in sync that time.
Nice.